Okay.
Okay. This one.
All right. Okay. Are you ready?
All right. So we're ready here, and we're recording take 1, Allegro. Our first conversation Tom and I had was on the very day when we both started working at McGill University. And Tom described me a project of recording all of Haydn's work for keyboard instruments. And he asked me if I could produce that.
One day, Tom came to my office and said, you know, I'm working on this proposal. Would you like to be involved? It involves recording all keyboard works of Haydn.
Maybe 10 or 12 CD worth of music.
For me, the breakthrough was when I started conceiving of this thing as 10 different programs. They're centered around one instrument, they're centered around a certain type of room that matches the instrument, and also they bring about a certain type of rhetoric, you know, a certain circumstance. Is it Haydn playing? Is it a pupil of his playing? Is it them having a lesson? Is it Haydn delivering something to his prince, etc.? So there's a story behind each of these programs.
When he described it to me, it sounded, from the logistics point of view of recording, it sounded almost impossible.
14 hours of music.
So I suggested, why not we capture the acoustics and we bring the acoustics home and we do all the process of recording and performing in our laboratories. Welcome to the dome.
So that's it, huh? This is it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's not much happening though.
Very dry.
No, totally dry acoustically. The technology is complex, but the idea is very simple. We go to Europe, we make acoustical measurements, so acoustical maps or digital profiles of every room where Haydn performed his music or where his music would have been played. Exactly. And we come here and we digitally reconstruct these rooms for you.
I want to have a very rich, very full, complete sound of the instrument. And for that purpose I want to place various layers of microphones around the instrument.
Right.
But if we have the loudspeakers giving back the room impression, then that's going to interfere with the recording, I fear. Unless, what about using headphones?
Can I trust that I'm really hearing the actual room?
Yeah, certainly. You will still be able to play the room in the same way.
If that's what it takes, then I'm definitely willing to try.
It actually requires certain philosophical change in the way we look at the room, because now that we separate the process of recording the instrument and recording the room, because we actually divide this. We record the room first, and we then bring this room to the recording space where we record the artist and we simulate, we arrange the virtual presence of that room in this environment for the artist to hear and for the microphones to capture the entire, blend of both.
The days of one piano fits all are over. I play on a clavichord, a Viennese harpsichord, a French harpsichord, a Viennese square piano, a Viennese grand forte piano, as an earlier version and in its later form, and an English grand piano, which would be the closest to what is now known to be the modern piano. And we've used the following rooms: Haydn's study in Eisenstadt, another room, also from his house, a salon of the Esterházy Palace, which is also in Eisenstadt, then in Fertőt in Esterháza, the music room, as well as the magnificent ceremonial room. Then we went to Vienna, a Prunkraum, from the Albertina, and from Palais Lobkowitz, the Festsaal. And then to Oxford, the famous Holywell Music Room, and finally here back home in Montreal, the Salle de Nantes of the Chateau Ramsay.
I made a list actually about which disciplines are involved in this Haydn project, and I came up with something like 22 different disciplines. Let me just start just saying a few.
Impressive.
For instance, of course, music performance, making of instruments, acoustics, psychoacoustics, historical performance, recording, editing, mixing, the virtual acoustics, history,
Instrument building, maintenance.
Social history, musicology, theory, analysis, yes.
It's a lot of extra elements that play a very important role that make a project like this much more.
In Haydn's day, if you talked about keyboard music, it would have included songs. It would have included accompanied keyboard music, trios, violin sonatas. They would all be under the umbrella of keyboard music. In my case, it's the complete solo keyboard.
Yeah, well, it would sound.